Yo, what's up? What's up, everyone? Hi, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Bread for Soul Convos with myself, Sir LSG. And on the other side of the line, I've got one of my who I believe is one of the one of the best DJs that we have in South Africa, and I say that without any shame, and I'm also happy that to have known to know Clement as a friend of mine. I've got TRANCEMICSOUL. But before that, I just want to get into a few shout outs. Okay, I'll get to the shout out. But anyway, let me welcome you, bro. How's it, Trans?
Sir LSG,
Oh, grande, brag.
100% winner.
Hi, top. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
No problem, no problem.
Hola. So, I mean, just to give for those who don't know, who should know, Transmix Soul, Pretoria born, real name Clement Paswan. He released on a label, like the first release was on a label called Fountains Music, a Japanese label. And you went on to release on Motswako Underground, Seasons Limited, Gogo Music, Adaptation Music, Peppermint Jam, just to name a few records, and he's also attended the prestigious Red Bull Music Academy in New York in 2013. And his openness, has seen him gracing stages at Opikopi, Rocking the Daisies, Cape Town Electronic Music Festival, Sona Festival in Spain, and recently Africa is Not a Jungle. Well, actually, more recently, the Ultra South Africa Festival. My brother, I just want to say, like, your journey is an inspirational one, first and foremost. And I say that without shame when I say you are one of the best DJs in the country. That do you feel that way, like when you look at your when you look back at your journey?
I think because I'm doing it for a purpose, you know, I don't really like count whatever that I've achieved. I feel like that's part of the journey. It's not a matter of I sit down and I plan what I have to achieve. I know along the journey there's gonna be like great things like coming.
Mm.
So when it comes to most of the stuff, say, like you spoke about, I feel like they came at the right time. I didn't plan anything there. It was like you've been working and you have to end. And those things, they were part of whatever that I've been working towards.
Sure. So, sorry to cut you. I wanted to ask you: do you put would you then say you put importance in the hard work that you do without expecting to get anything?
Yeah, so that's the purpose. Everything that I do it for the culture. Nothing else. I'm not doing it for myself or for any brand or for anyone. I just do it for the culture because that's how I kind of got into the game. Some people were working for the culture, and that's why we are here. It wasn't like an individual thing. It was like a group of people doing it for the music, and then that's where we got like our inspiration from, and that's why I still do it for other people to get inspiration from us.
Bro, I love that. I love that so much. What was your earliest memory of house music and DJing in general?
Yo, my earliest memory, I think I was still in grade 7. Yeah, I think what times it's then at 5.
Yeah, I started five.
I was grade 7. Yeah, I think we had like social functions, you know. I remember we used to like get DJs that come and play records for us, in grade 7. So you dress up like your own social clothing, and then you donate cash for some of the unfortunate kids at home. So they used to do social functions, then they book DJs to come and play. That's when I kind of like understood that you can mix two records together. Yeah.
Who were some of the DJs back then?
So uh, before I saw this happening in real time, there were already like Christos, Vini, Oskido, Fresh. Already they were doing compilations, but I didn't understand how the compilations were being made, in terms of the creation, like the process. I just thought maybe they are like on a computer and like, doing a mix and selling it to the masses. But when I saw a DJ playing from like one record to another, I remember I think it was between Silly Bean and Corridor Groove.
And those are like the Pretoria legends, ne?
Yeah, so I think if I'm not mistaken, those were the people that were putting the Pretoria sound, on the map before most of the guys could like, reach out to the masses. Those were the names that we knew. If they were like, there's a party and you see Silipino or Corey, you were raving, I'm going to that party, I'm going to that party. Before everyone kind of like exploded.
Sure. I see. I just saw now, like on Facebook, somebody says that the mic is echoing. Your mic is echoing. I think it's because like you're sitting a bit too far. But guys, if I'm gonna ask one more question, if you still cannot hear, please send a message on the inbox. I mean on the comments, and then we'll see how we can fix it. But we're just gonna keep on going with the interview. Um, so I've got here some pictures that I want to put up from your the first time you got onto the Red Bull team, and this was in 2013, and you were selected to be part of the Red Bull Music Academy Week in New York. How did that experience change your or influence your perception?
So like I was purely a soulful underground kind of person. But when I got to New York, I kind of saw how music and technology, like electronics, can work hand in hand. You know, I think for us it was more about the music, not more into like electronic gas. When we do like these parties, we didn't really care too much about the logistics in terms of like the staging, the lighting.
Mm.
It was always about let's get a sound system and that's it. We play music to the people. But when I got that side, I kind of saw how broad, the music can be if we kind of like align it to, let's say, lifestyle and to things like electronic gas, gadgets and stuff. When I got there, I saw that, we can do a party and like also sell watches. We can do a party and, also sell other stuff that are not even part of the music. Then I figured out already.
Can I stop you a bit, Clement, just to before sorry to cut you off. Are you able to get another position where you can bring your laptop closer? Because I think the mic, the distance creates a bit of an echo, and people are saying they can hear you, but they're struggling to hear you clearly.
Okay, I think maybe I should come closer, maybe.
Yeah. If you can come closer. And what I like about like doing an online show, like because it's not TV,
Yeah, yeah.
no one is shouting. Can you lift your mic like this a bit? I mean your laptop, if because I'll cut another. I'll let you know when
Okay.
I sharp. Say something.
Mic testing one,
Ah,
two.
I think it's sharp. Great. Yeah, it sounds better.
And then Engele is sharp.
Bua hapera.
Mic testing 1 2 1 2.
Engele sharp, Joe. Engele grand.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I was saying the nice thing about doing a show yeah, internet is because no one is telling me that hey, cut, go to ad break. No, we fixing things right now and then we can carry on with what we're doing, you know. Sorry,
Yeah,
so
real time.
yeah, real time, real time. So you were saying for the Red Bull Music Academy, you know, it changed your perspective in a sense that how you viewed you know production and you know
Yeah.
also putting the electronic part of the music you know in it and really putting emphasis on that, but also in like after the 2013 thing with RBMA in New York, you became now part of the family, and I want to ask you about that actually. But before that, what actually takes place at these talks? Because you were invited to another one, go Nairobi in Kenya, with Blinky
Yeah.
Bill. What actually takes place at these Red Bull talks?
So like I think they got the foundation, pretty much like they understood what they have to do for their culture. As like Red Bull Music Academy, they understood the foundation of gathering like-minded people on Talon. It's more of people that are like creative, and there's no boundary. Like there's nothing that you do that can be like taken as no, this is wrong, this is right. You know what I mean? You just do what you feel, expresses you or your feelings like in a more broader way. And I think when you have such platforms, you are not afraid to be who you are. You know what I mean? Because we had guys that are like artists, they draw. We had guys that are making music producers. We had guys that are like instrumentalists. So when you take everything that I kind of like spoke about, you have a producer, you have an instrumentalist, you have someone that's an artist, like what draw. When you put them in like one space, you can create something that's very like I don't know how to explain it, but you cannot find it easily. It's very rare because those are creatives. Like, some people are making music, you get inspiration from what they're doing, and you start to take like whatever your pencil or do canvas stuff there. And whatever you're gonna present after that session, it's something that you couldn't like do it alone. Abo.
Mm,
So they share like serious in-depth kind of material in terms of if you are an artist, you have to like follow yourself, like your soul needs to lead. Abo. And I think that's the most important thing because there are no boundaries there. There are no boundaries.
mm. I love what Red Bull does, you know, with things like that, with those kind of initiatives, and they do so many of them, even with sports or with
Sure,
mountain biking. You know, they really go out and get people who thrive in what they do, and it might not even
sure.
be the most popular thing out there, but because you are so good at what you do, you know, they put you on like that, and they can put you, like you say, with like-minded people, you know, to kind of experience your art in a different level, if I may say that. But what has been your relationship now since 2013 with Red Bull?
We've had so many things like going on. I remember when I came back, I almost played every festival that Red Bull was involved. And because of like I was honest, because I was presenting who I am and what I believe in. Since 2013, I think the journey like turned into sort of like a business. It was no longer me being an artist that represents Red Bull. It was like me being a partner to spread the word in terms of like how Red Bull can certain things about your life. And yeah, man, I think since I started the sessions, you know, that's when I kind of like saw that they gave me like a serious platform because now the sessions we have uh, a beer company involved. You know what I mean? And when I started everything, there were no like beer companies for me. But because they saw that I've been working with a big company like Red Bull, they were like, okay, then there's something here. we can trust this guy with our brand.
Mm.
So it turned into me being a businessman, an entrepreneur or whatever they call it.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And actually, I like that you mentioned the sessions. I wanted to ask you, when did you start the sessions, and also how have they evolved along the years?
I started the sessions, I think, 2 years ago, and it was, I think, it was the right time, for me to have something that I can sit and look at it grow, because we have always been getting bookings. We have always been like helping other brands or other people grow their brands, and we kind of like had nothing for ourselves. So I just came about the Transmixol sessions as like a form of like a place where people can come and share their talent with me and whatever that I've gathered, whether it's the support that people are giving me or whether it's the support that people are giving me to the venue. I bring that and you come and share the talent with everyone. You know what I mean?
Sure. And
Yeah.
but I understand that for the first year, you did the Transmix Soul sessions completely, like it was free. People were not paying to get into the
Sure.
sessions. I mean, even today, some you still give out a few first early bird tickets. How did you
Yeah.
how did you cover your costs? Of running an event like that, because you always had super DJs on the lineup, but you were,
Yeah.
it was always for free.
Yeah. So I think it goes back to the point, yeah, working with like-minded people. I remember like African Beer Emporium, the venue, it was still a new venue. Like they had nothing in terms of events, and what they really needed, it was to bring people to the venue, because as you know, there's no venue like African Beer Emporium in Pretoria. Like that's a very exclusive venue. So I think I had a chat with the owners, and I told them, you know what, I want to do a party here, but because we are not financially stable enough, let's just bring people so that they can check out the venue while we are busy doing a session. The people will come for the music, but once they get to the venue, they'll be like, wow, why didn't I know about this? This venue is very nice. I can come during the week, have a meal and stuff. So I think they kind of liked the idea, and we started to like paying everything from our own pockets, because we had a mission. We knew what we want to achieve. And then for the first year, everything was like we bankrolled everything, myself and the venue, all the money, all the artists, everything, it was coming from me and the venue.
Sure, man. Yeah, and I think it's a lesson because mainly the aim of these convos is to share experiences, and but also to educate people, give people some light as to how they can go about doing their own things in their own way. And for so people, when we're talking to Transmix Soul like this, I guess you do realize that sometimes you don't need to be making money. If you're thinking long term for a monthly event, you can start something and know that you will lose some money in the beginning. But if you're thinking long term and you have a plan, you've got a vision, you've got the team, that can manifest into something much bigger and better. I want to ask you, Trans, about. I'm intrigued by the way you've evolved, because um, back in the days, like I'm talking 2008, 2009, you were one of the most soulful producers in South Africa. When everybody was doing Afro house, me included, myself included, Minjo and Essential I, and a whole lot of other people. Yeah, you were one of the most soulful DJs and soulful producers. And through the
Yeah.
years, we've seen you evolving to a more electronic sound, more techie sound as well. But then recently, I've also seen a video of you on social media, and it was a soulful track that you're working on. So I want to know, tell us about these transition, bro. How are they? What informs the transitions?
Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, you have to take yourself as a project. you know And once you understand that music is like, it's so broad, you cannot limit yourself and be like, I'm a soulful house producer or I'm an electronic house producer or DJ. You are a project. That's how I take myself. I'm a project. I can do anything. Like if I feel really I need to produce a record, the Afro pop, I'll do it. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? So for me, it's all about how I feel in that specific moment. And music is like it's a cycle. You know what I mean? It has like seasons whereby you need to incorporate certain elements. It's not about the genre, but certain elements. Like you spoke whenever known about Afro house. It was needed. That time was needed for music to continue, or else we could have been stagnant. For me, when I left the soulful house music scene, because I felt we are now too stagnant. You get a kick and a clap and chords, then that's a song. But for me, I felt like we need to like push, expand the envelope, push the envelope so that people can be, excited about the music. Because I remember by then, around 2012, 2013, people were no longer excited about the soulful house scene because it was just too stagnant. It's a song with almost everything that you have heard before, And when I did incorporate the electronic side of things, I just saw how people were like, yeah, we can listen to this, yeah, we can support this. And I was like, okay, cool, this is what I can push until I get to a point whereby I feel, okay, I've done it and I need to move to another kind of like, fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I like that. I like that, and I really admire that you had no fear, to move into
sure.
a different scene. But I want to ask you: have you ever received any flack from people who used to support you or who knew you for this soulful side, and now you are doing a more electronic and a bit harder sound? Have you ever received flack from those people?
Always. You can have one of the biggest records in the world, and you will still have people that are like, but this is not how we know you. It's not about how they know you. It's about what you have done. Pantalon. So for me, I was not like I didn't concentrate too much in what the people are saying towards what I'm doing. It was what am I giving back to the culture, like as a whole. If I do a record and it gets traction, let's say the Afro house side, like that's where it's getting its traction. I was gonna like appreciate the people that are supporting the record. If those people came out Afro house, I stick with them. I give them whatever they want because they're showing me love. The soulful house guys and whatever babasa, like those that don't support the movement, I'm like, it's okay, but that doesn't mean I cannot do stuff with Celeste Batlan, you know what I mean? It was a matter of traction. If I have traction, I keep moving.
Sure, sure. Nah, bro. Like I respect that. And talking about these transitions, similarly, you used to play for a predominantly black market, and I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
also a good to note that in South Africa we have such a colorful spectrum of scenes, but you used to play some gigs that were predominantly attended by black people. And through the years, through your transition into the more electronic side, you've been now playing gigs that were predominantly attended by white market, and there's no, it's not like black people are not allowed or anything, no, or it's not that white people are not allowed in those scenes, but it's just how it is. It's the scene is there, the party is there, it's attended by a lot of white people, the party is there, it's attended by a lot of black people. It is what it is, but one thing that unites us all is the music, but
yeah.
I want to know, are there any notable differences from playing these big white festival, I'll say white festivals without being racist, you know what I mean?
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, as a country, we kind of had it tough, Well, we kind of had it tough from back in the days. And I feel like people don't really understand that we we are united. It's a matter of, your upbringing and your belief. You know what I mean? If you can go to Main Lane, shopping mall, there's nothing stopping you to go to the Pretoria East and attend an event. It's a mindset, Abo. And it has been going on for a very long time, because I remember when I started playing these parties, people were shocked in terms of like, who are you playing for and how did you get there? But I'm in the country. There's no difference.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't catch a flight and go to Europe to play a show. I'm in the country. So by the time you are saying to me, how did you? Then you kind of like put a sort of like a boundary between the two. And you can also be part of that. It's a matter of, it's a new booking for me. I've never been there before. So if I'm going there, let's all go together. And for a long time now, I kind of feel like people are still trying to separate the two. They're like, okay, because we are in the townships, we're gonna like support the gigs that are in the townships. And once you move out of the township, it's totally different. It's no longer a show for them. And for me, I always like find that mentality so wrong, because if you want to play the shows that I'm playing, or if you want to be part of those shows, you need to go and see what's happening there, give the support, let them know what you are trying to do, and they'll give you the platform, you know what I mean? And vice versa. If they want to be part of the township market and stuff, they need to come and see what we are doing in the townships, and it's going to be easier for everyone, you know what I mean?
right. Yeah, hey, we they illustrate because I really I've gotten tired of like people's perceptions because especially people who make perceptions are people who don't really go and experience those different events. So somebody who will be having a bad perception about township events would most probably do that without going to the township. And similarly, somebody who would have a perception about going to a techno event will do so without actually experiencing the techno events because me and you have been to many parties. I mean, we've rocked, my man. We've done, but we've attended, different parties. I've went to the gigs that you do, like there was this one particular one in the container park, the festival that
Yeah,
you played there,
yeah,
and it's so amazing to see such a unified scene, like where you have,
yeah,
it doesn't even matter whether you're white, colored, or it actually doesn't matter anyway, but to actually see that kind of mixture of people. Another party that has a similar thing is the We House Sundays in Cape Town. They've got such
sure.
a lovely variety, of people coming to the gig, and I love that so much, bro. But I wanted to ask
Yeah,
you about the gig that you played for Red Bull and at the Sona Music Festival. Um,
yeah,
your experience there, because I remember watching the video and your opening track at that festival. You played the entire South African national anthem, and that was so
yeah.
amazing to see, bro. Just to see the video, I wish I could have had that video. But how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so like for me to get there, it was through being part of the Red Bull Music Academy, like as an alumna. And I feel like there was a lot of pressure, because to get to Sona Festival, I remember the people that went there that were like playing house from the academy, those came from South Africa. I think the first one, it was Black Coffee, and then came Tulo the Song, then Julian Gomez, and then it was myself. And by then, I was still trying to find my feet in the country. I didn't have like a big record. A lot of people didn't like know about what I'm doing, and I felt that. for me to go there, it was just to let the people know that, you know, I feel like safe, and I kind of like feel more comfortable in being who I am and where I come from. That's why I started with the national anthem. You know what I mean? And I remember that when I started playing, there were, let's say, 200, 300 people, you know. And when I was like done with my set, it was like 5,000 people. Like it was full to the back. And that's when they kind of saw that it's more of what you're bringing onto the table, like rather than whatever that you have, where you come from. You know, it was like, what are you bringing for us, the people that are attending the show, out of your own like habitat or your region. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's like amazing for me to experience. I won't lie.
Sure. And
Yeah,
one of the your experiences that I would like to ask you about is the being part of the Africa is Not a Jungle team of DJs and artists. Um,
yeah.
how uh, like I want to know like that atmosphere of being around those that crop of artists. How is it the traveling? You know, what kind of gigs have you guys been doing thus far?
Yeah. So I think, you know, that concept, it's more like whatever we were speaking about, like-minded people, like creating a collective for them to always be inspired, for them, you know, to always be innovative. Yabo. And I remember when I got an invite, because we know Africa is not a jungle. That's something Black Coffee started, and everyone was talking about it. You know, like, yeah, there's gonna be parties. Africa is not a jungle, and then boom, I get an invite to play. You know, I kind of felt like, okay, cool. That means people are aware and they can see the effort that I'm putting. You know, and to travel with them, it was always an inspirational thing, because when we get there, you know the support that Black Coffee has, man. Like he's a legend in the country. So when we got to the shows, it was not a matter of who's playing first, who's playing last. It's packed. Like whether you are opening, it's packed. You have to deliver. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
And to get that platform, imagine playing for, you're an opening DJ, you're already playing for 2,000 people.
Damn.
It's like you get inspired, you know, you kind of get to a point whereby when you get home, it's no longer about the next show. It's about how you feel that moment. Everything that you're gonna do that moment is gonna be innovative, because you saw how like music can be like spread across the country,
Mm.
and the people will always support the music. It was no longer about shows. It was about what you can give to the to the people while there are no shows. And I think Africa is not a jungle. It was purely like about the music. They knew songs from like start to finish. They knew when you were playing. They knew, okay, this is your record. And it's amazing because normally people don't really like, you know, dig that deep in terms of like, who's this guy? This guy has so many songs, and I don't know how to explain it, but they knew about the artist first. They knew about who we were, and that's amazing, because it was not about us, you know, getting shows. You know what I mean? It was not about us getting shows. It was what we've been doing online, like our music and all that stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right, that's amazing. That's some good insight. Also, I wanna know, but amongst you guys, while you are traveling, how's the atmosphere between all of the DJs? You know, when you guys are
Yeah.
doing these shows, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I think one thing that I've learned is that the more we become like true to ourselves, you know, and the more you expect to learn from one another. You know, it was not about an ego thing, who's big, who's not. It was more about I need to learn something from you, and you need to learn something from me as well. And it was like always so calm, like so calm. We didn't even like speak about music in most cases. It was generally like about life, things that we wanna kind of like achieve, outside the music space. And you can understand when you are with like artists that are like dreaming of having certain things that are not like music related. You also wanna, kind of get a piece of that. So if this guy is dreaming about, let's say, owning a farm, you also wanna stretch your mind and be like, okay, people are actually like dreaming. They have these big dreams. Then why do I have to be stuck on the music scene? I also can become something bigger. You know, that's how it has been. It was like inspiration from one part to another.
Mm. Yo, bruh, that's inspirational. I mean, I can also just link that to um, seeing how, and I've had a chat with Sculptured Music about this fact that sometimes we think everybody who's big in music is only doing music, and reality
Yeah,
is that's not the case. Like you see, Jay-Z will have like certain companies, and advertising and marketing company. I mean, just now, yesterday, we got to learn of Black Coffee's acquisition of a share in Gallo Records
yeah,
through his
yeah.
investment company. And when I looked at the Instagram page of the investment company that's owned by Black Coffee, they're doing other things, nothing to do with music. Like completely far from music. But obviously, the music became kind of like the foundation of these things to be for him to be able to do other things. And I think that it's actually powerful for me, like when I see it like that, that actually I'm more than just the music. Yes, the music is a big part of what I do, but I can do many other things. You know what I mean? I really respect that, bro. Ne ke re ke go botsa ka the gigs actually, like when you're playing, you've played internationally, you've played a lot of local gigs.
Yeah.
Which international gigs would you say they have been close to home, like for you, that had kind of a more closer feel to home than the others?
Yo, I think, yo, the gigs that I've played internationally, they were so different. Like I won't lie, that's the reason why when I came back home, it was more of, doing it for the scene. Like they were so different. Everyone that was, attending those gigs, they had a specific kind of element that was attached to the scene. It wasn't like people just woke up and be like, it's a Saturday, what can I do? Oh, here's an event I'm gonna attend. No, it was very, very different. I could see that these people are for the music and are for the culture. So it wasn't about what you are playing, it was specifically for the culture. Nothing like that Seleka experience when I was in the country, because most of the gigs that I was playing, it was more of, we are like playing in a venue that has like DJs on a weekly basis, and different kind of DJs. So there's no kind of like uh, I don't know how to put it, but there's no routine. You know what I mean?
That
Like there's no routine of like, this is what we do. Yes, we can change DJs, but matter of fact is that this is what we are playing. This is what we are supporting. It was always like very shuffled. But today hip hop, tomorrow soulful house, then Sunday they go to R&B soul sessions. You know what I mean? But that side there was nothing like that. It was purely from the first DJ to the last DJ. Only whatever like scene that you're playing for, only that kind of music. If it's techno, from the first DJ to the last DJ, only techno music. And that's when I saw that, I was like, then I can take this and do it like back home. That's how transmixal sessions kind of like became a thing, because I made it clear that if you want to play there, you don't have to come and play stuff tailoring. It's not aligned with the vision. You know, I get a list of like DJs sending me mixes and trying to get a spot there, but because it's like that's our routine, like month in, month out. This is what we push, and if you're part of that, you'll come and play. But if you're not part of that, come and attend and see what we are kind of like doing, and then when you get a chance, you know exactly what to do.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. And big ups for that, bro. Big ups for the sessions. I mean, I've played there, I think twice or three times now. I always love
yeah,
the atmosphere. I love how chilled it is. Starts in the afternoon. Cause for a long time we never used to have afternoon gigs. I don't know why, but for the longest of
yeah,
time, people never
yeah.
used to. And even when we had afternoon gigs, you'd see people rocking up at 8 p.m. to a gig
Exactly.
FLanka 10. You know what I mean? So I like that about Transmixol sessions, that people actually do come on time. By 2 p.m., the place is kind of fresh, or wana or no. It's very nice. It's everything's going on. Ke batla ho botsa ka your job at
Sure.
Sony Music, bro. What's your role at Sony?
So my role is like I'm an A&R manager, so artist and repertoire. And just to break it down for the people that are not aware of the terms Southern A&R, basically, I'm scouting for talent. I'm the guy that's always like on the ground, searching for something refreshing, like next big thing. So basically, what happens there, I oversee like the artistic side of things. If, let's say, for instance, LSG, if there's something about LSG bubbling under, I will be the first, to see, and I will make a recommendation and be like, gents, there's a guy called LSG. Must I get his music so that we can listen and have a chat about it? And then I do that. After that, we have a team. If the team is like liking your sound and stuff, we call you in, we have a chat with you regarding like your plans and stuff. And then if we are aligned, then we start working together. That's one part of the A&R's job. The other part is like, for instance, the signed artists or people that already have deals, lesson. When they do their music, they will always send back to the company. So myself and the director, we are the people that will take the music, listen, and be like, yeah, no, this thing here doesn't work. Try to recreate something. If you can't, we can help you to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm the connection between the process of an artist starting a project and ending the project. So if an artist feels like they are stuck, they come to the office and they tell us, no, bruh, I can't finish this song. I need a collabo. Okay, like what kind of an artist do you want to collaborate with? They tell us. Then I take it from there. I reach out to the artist. I make sure the project is complete.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're holding an important role for the label, and I specifically love the fact that we have somebody who's from the house music scene,
So,
in the role that you are in right now, because not to say that you're only looking after house music for Sony, but like to have somebody who knows the music at least, gives me hope,
yeah,
because we can now in the future already we are seeing it, where we're seeing a lot of house music artists releasing with major labels like Sony.
sure.
But then how do people, so if people want to get their music on such a big label as Sony, how do they go about doing that?
So I think they can reach out like on all like social platforms. I'm there like TRANCEMICSOUL. They can like tweet or send DM or like post on my Facebook page. But normally you'll have to send an email. You know, you can like send me your music, your prospect, anything that will work like in your favor. I will send it to me, and that's my 9 to 5. I'll make time, listen, check whatever that you have sent, and I promise, if it's good to that level, and if it will cater for the commercial side of things, because it's not only about the music, it's also about the business side. You know what I mean? If it ticks all the boxes, I'm gonna reach out. I've reached many, and that's the beauty about this thing. When I said I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for the culture. Like there's a lot of guys that have big records now. I was part of those records. I was involved, but still I'm not making any noise about it. And that's why I always say do it for the right reasons, do it for the right reasons.
Sure, sure. And
And
I want to ask you about your email address, but before I want to get to a point here before I lose my train of thought. My chain of thought. Ne ke re ke go botsa ka, what from a major label standpoint, ne, what
yeah,
how is the deep house scene viewed from where you stand working for a major?
yeah,
Where are we with regards to at least the especially the commercial aspect of deep house music in the country? I mean, this scene has been running for years, bruh, and there's so many
sure,
producers, and but I still believe that commercially we haven't really reached, levels where we can reach. But from a
yeah.
major label standpoint, how are you guys viewing deep house music in our country?
So to be honest with you, as like a major company, like major label, there are no boundaries. We get like a lot of demos, and sometimes it's all about the mindset. I feel like people that do house music, they are they are very like short-sighted. Most of them, they don't see the bigger picture. But we are open to anything. We are, as long as the music can like translate whatever the artist is looking for, whatever you as an artist you are looking for. It's all about a matter of limiting the expectations. You know, it's a business. So if you come to a major label and be like, yes, I have a project, here's a project, but this is what I want the people to have, and we tell you that we understand this is a beautiful project, but commercially, because we know, you know what I mean? They've been in the business for a very long time. They know, and we do analytics. We will show you radio is playing this kind of sound, and then people are streaming this kind of sound, or people are buying this kind of sound. And yes, you are almost there, but we need to tweak it a little bit. A lot of artists will be like, you're not touching, sorry. And they go back and say stuff like, yeah, major labels don't really support, wara. But matter of fact is that you were short-sighted. You didn't see what we were trying to show you. We are always about evolving, innovation and stuff. That's what majors are there for. We want the next coolest thing, the next biggest thing.
Mm. Yo, I really hope that everyone wow, and they can maybe also try to think up, because I believe that there's always many ways of doing things, but
Sure,
as long as you are open minded, and you kind of
sure,
have the vision, and are able to understand, if you're going to a label, understand what the vision for the label is and what it could do for
sure.
you, and obviously you can decide from there. But don't be sour after that if you decide otherwise.
Exactly,
you
exactly.
know.
You know what's funny? Uh, and I always tell people, nah, we as house music guys, we we need to, stand up and fight for ourselves. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I applied for this job, because we are always talking, we are very vocal about stuff, but no one is standing up and be like, I'll do it. No one is doing that. It's all about people behind the scenes being like, you don't have to do that. You have to do it like this. But they are not doing it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, you know what, I'm done with this kind of like, I'm gonna complain without doing anything. Then I stood up and be like, I will fight for this genre. I will fight for it. We need people in the boardrooms. We need people that are talking, the same language that we are talking right now. We need people that are gonna like give that vote. You know what I mean? And if people are not standing up and be like, I'm going to fight for this genre, it will always be the same. It's going to be like, here's a big song. Yes, it's playing like underground, it's playing, it's big. But how do we take that song and make it commercial? We need people in the boardrooms.
Mm.
Easy.
Definitely. And also just thinking about one of the things that just came to my mind now, um, is that we've had a negative connotation to the word commercial, and
Sure.
we need to change that, guys. Commercial does not
Yeah.
mean it's bad or anything like that, but we need to change how we understand the word commercial. And I think
Sure.
it starts there. Once we change that, and once we can have a different view to the word commercial, we will be more open to actually getting our music to higher levels than we currently are. And trans, bro, like we're running out of time, but I want to ask you about your sense of fashion. Have you always had this? Has it always been important for you and for your brand to be this stylish person?
I think I don't even like pay attention. I'm more into like feeling comfortable in anything that I put on. And, I get this like very often. Hey, my brother, I don't know. It's a matter. I come from Pretoria, and that's how we grew up. Most of us, it was a matter of you need to do like a combo kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really pay too much attention into like fashion. It's a matter of like what I feel I can represent. You know.
Sure.
So
Yeah, but
yeah.
but don't say you don't pay attention to it, cause you do. You look like you work it out. It's not like wow parafelo and taloha, but I wanna know, like,
Yeah.
from a brand perspective, does that have any effect, any impact on an artist? How you come across and how you look.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they will look at you first before they understand who you are, especially in like corporate and these sponsors kind of like partnerships. They will go and do a research about you, and they'll be like, can this guy represent what we stand for? And everything needs to match. Oh, yeah.
For sure, bruh. And Nigerike Obotaka, back in 2012, 2014, myself, you, Minjo, Cat Like Cat, Ejo, we used to party like like rock stars. We used to party like rock stars. I remember, like, there's some moments where we slept right here in this room, all of us. Like, but has your sense of a good time? What does it look like right now? Like when you've had like the most fun.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I really enjoy like being indoors, with the people that I love the most. I feel like we are always on the road, and we are always trying to accommodate people, like you are always there to calm yourself, like whatever the situation, whether you are happy or you're sad, you are always on the road, trying to make a living. And it takes a lot, that's why I think a lot of guys don't understand when they come across. artist. Sometimes you don't want to talk, like you just want to be in your own space. So I figured out that when I'm home with the people that I love, that's when I enjoy the most compared to when I'm traveling and I have to feel like everyone needs to get a piece of me. So when I have a good time, it's always in the house.
Sure. Yeah, man. Clement, Fetu, like, thank you for doing this with us and for
Sure,
spending
sure.
your time, Joe. I really appreciate it, and I'm mostly inspired by your journey, bro. Like your openness, like it has, for me, it has opened my mind. It has, to other things as well, and ways that I can do my own thing better, and I really appreciate
Sure,
you,
sure.
bro. Hola.
Thanks for having me.
Hater. So yeah, everyone. So I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. If you did, please share the video. Please comment and tag somebody who might need to watch the video as well. And yeah, let's continue doing this thing. Tomorrow I've got DJ Strategy from House Africa, Don't Look Down Productions. Yeah, and please join in tomorrow. Oh yeah, somebody was asking about the sweater. So this is another design for our Bread for Soul merchandise. It's called Feed the Music Part of Your Soul. And yeah, they're currently on sale. I'll post the details later tonight. I mean, later today. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching this. Let's stay creative. Peace out.